This is going to be an interesting video. I have my wife in here, and I also have the dogs in here, so we'll see which one makes the most noise. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sobriety and Silver. I woke up sober this morning because I went to bed sober last night. Today is 1,129 days of continuous sobriety. It is day 165 of Stacking Silver, and I'm so thankful that we got into it. All right. I have my wife in here. Say hi.
Hello, everyone.
And I've got some questions that I want to ask her about my alcoholism, what it was like prior to me getting sober versus what it's like today. And again, we have the door open. The dogs are in here with us because they were whining at the door. They can't stand to be away from us, and we can't stand to be away from them. But I'm also going to show off. Last night, my wife and I, we had a good night. We watched a movie. Got some pizza, got some wings from Pizza Hut, and also went through some of the coins. And it was just a good night. We had a good time. And I want to show off some of the ones we found. We only went through about 9 of them, I think is what we went through. But we went to New Mista and just, we had a good night. It was a great night. And that's a good part about being sober. Another great thing about being sober is spending time with someone you love and them not having to worry about what's going to happen in the next millisecond because your emotions are everywhere, your temperament's everywhere. It can just be, I can't imagine what it's like, but we're going to find out because I'm going to ask her some questions. So why don't we get started? I'll show off a coin first and then I'll ask a question or two. So the first thing we did was I would just reach in, pick a coin, and then we'd both look it up on the Mista, and then she'd reach in, grab a coin, whatnot. Now I got this one in upside down. I just realized that. But this is a 1984 10 Pfennig, and it's 95% iron. And that's supposed to be 5% brass, but she wrote 10% brass on there. But that's all right. 95 and 10 equals 105.
You told me 10.
Yeah. You say it out loud.
He told me 10, y'all.
Yeah. Anyway, and of course it's from Germany. And it's milled. And the ranking is 2, so it's pretty popular. It's nothing great. And the average value on it is 41 cents. So, all right, let's get on with the first question. Now, just a little background. My wife does not drink. She doesn't smoke cigarettes. She's never done drugs. I tease her, how could you have grown up in the 70s and never done anything like that? And she hasn't. She's completely opposite of me, but we fit well together. All right, so we've been together for approximately, it's 14 years, right? Yeah, 14 in March, 14 years in March. And 11 of those years, I drank heavy. So when we first got together, I better lean down here because I'm trying to shoot a video and talk to you. When we first got together, when did you realize, or how long before you realized I had a problem?
It was a while because you hit it well. You didn't act like you were, I guess, when you were a high-functioning alcoholic. You really couldn't tell. It wasn't until later on in our relationship that I started seeing the dark side of your addiction.
I do remember you making a statement one time, and I was cutting the grass at Mom's house, and I had the riding mower, and I was intoxicated. I do remember this, and I was really mad about something. I don't know if it was the lawnmower wasn't working right or something, but I was just acting like a typical angry alcoholic. And I do remember you saying something about your eyes being opened that day, or um, basically you realizing that, hey, something ain't right here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I don't know how long we had been together.
No, I don't remember how long.
I know
we've
it was
been.
early.
Mhm.
So, all right, let's show off another coin here, and you can hear my dog in the background. She's whining. She wants attention. Our next one that we found was 1 krone, 1961 Norway. 75% copper, 25% nickel. It is milled, and the ranking in Numista is 3, so again, nothing special. But I did see one that sold that was circulated, not, uncirculated, for $8. So I'm not real sure about that, but hey, never know. All right, so that was the next one. All right, what we got next? What do I want to ask you? Well, let's just get right. What was the hardest part about living with somebody who was a chronic alcoholic?
The unexpected. I mean, you could be in a good mood one minute, then something would just set you off, and then we'd be in a screaming match and me throwing things.
Yeah, we've been through quite a bit. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
So that was the hardest part. The not knowing from one day to the next how you would be, and what I could say that would set you off, or always trying to walk on eggshells so I wouldn't set you off and end up in a fight. Not a fist fight, just arguments.
But we've had some good arguments, and all because of alcoholism. I mean, have we had an argument in the 3 years I've been sober?
No, not one. Nope.
And not one
Nope.
Single argument.
Nope. This is what you hear now is us, the laughing, the getting along. We finish each other's thoughts. We're just best friends.
That's right. I would rather spend a day with her than anybody else I know. All right, let's go with another coin. Then we'll go to another question. Thailand. This one took a little while to look up. We were having problems with this one. 1962 Thailand. It's a 1 baht Rama. I get Baht Rama. And it just said copper and nickel. It didn't give the percentages. But it is milled, and the ranking on the mist is 4. And right around $2.50 in value. That may be a little bit high, but I went with good instead of very fine or fine. I think it was good. I can't remember the rating system, but a couple bucks. So we'll go with that. All right, well, this next question is kind of obvious because you kind of answered it on the next one, but how did my drinking affect your emotional well-being? I mean...
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. It made me withdraw into myself a lot. Because, like I said, I didn't want to say or do anything that would set you off that day. And so I changed a lot myself because I would just try to keep the peace. And for me, that was because, I can get pretty outspoken.
Yes.
But just trying to make everything around you good so you wouldn't go off.
Trying to keep me a happy drunk.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Let's just call it what it is.
Yep.
Trying to keep the drunk happy.
Yep.
And, if somebody takes offense to that word drunk, I'm old school. And that's exactly what I was. I was a drunk. I was, now they have different terms for alcoholism and things like that. And to me, I was just a drunk. Plain and simple. All right, another coin. What we got on this one? All right, we got a 1987 one peseta. It's 96% aluminum, and it is from Spain. And it is milled. Ranking 33. This is the what's the word I'm looking for? The highest ranking one. The higher the ranking, the more rare, I guess, the coin is, you should say. But it's still only worth about $1. All right, what's next? What do I want to ask you next? Now, this next question, how did you cope with that? What skills or what did you find out about yourself or learn to do for yourself that helped you cope for that? Cope with me being like that?
Well, most of the time I would just either bury my head in a book because I love to read, or I would crochet to block everything out just to try to make a little cocoon for myself and just, like I said, try to keep the peace. Just try not to do anything that would make you mad or...
I remember you doing a lot of journaling.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I
try to write my
that.
thoughts down to get it out because I really didn't have anybody to talk to.
Yeah.
So I just, other than internalizing it, which was stressful on me, but so I would just journal, read books, just sometimes just put my head in the sand, try to.
And every time we moved, I would stay sober for a little while, and then eventually I'd find the liquor store and get comfortable with my surroundings, and then boom, off again.
Yeah, because I remember when we would move sometimes, and I'd see a liquor store close by, and my heart would sink because I just knew it.
Yep.
It won't be long before you find it, and.
Yep. And see, that's the effect that alcoholism has on other people. Is if you're not an alcoholic and alcoholism doesn't bother you and you're not around somebody that is an alcoholic, seeing a liquor store on the side of the road is not going to bother you. But knowing what I'm like, that immediately affected her.
Yeah.
So, all right, what else we got here? Oh, coin. Pardon me, guys. All right, we got 1949 50 Pfennig, and from Germany. 75% copper, 25% nickel. Rarity 4. It's milled and worth about $1. And I got it. Let me try it again there. And that's. But you know what? We had a lot of fun going through those last night.
We did.
And we'll maybe do it again tonight. Oh boy, this next question. All right, did you ever try to intervene and help me with it?
Yes. Yes.
And how did that go?
Not well. Not well, because you did not, you were not ready to stop. And any attempt to try to get you to stop would just make you mad. I mean, the times you went in rehab, when you first came home and you were clean and sober, your eyes were bright, that was great. And then, it won't last, a couple months maybe?
Yeah, I think the best I did when I got out of rehab was 90 days, right around 90 days.
Yeah.
Now, it was over 90 days because I got my 90-day sobriety chip. But you're right, I just wasn't ready. And that's what I say about relapse, is no matter how many times you've relapsed, don't give up, because I would go to rehab and I'd get out and stay clean and sober for a little while, but nothing changed. I didn't change anything about myself. I didn't change anything about my mindset. I didn't change anything about my spiritual beliefs. I didn't change anything. I just went and got clean, basically got sober and healed up a little bit, and then I came out and started all over again. So if you keep doing that, just don't give up. Something's got to change, and once you find out what that is, you will stay sober.
Mm-hmm.
So
can I say
yeah,
something?
go absolutely. You
A lot of people would always say to me, why do you stay with him? Why do you put up with that? Why do you stay with him? Because during his sober times, I saw the real him. I knew what he was really like, and I love him. He's my best friend. And I just kept that hope that one day he would finally beat this. And I'm glad I hung in there, because he has beat it. And We have a
So far, so good.
Yeah.
3+ years.
Yeah,
so, but if you are in sobriety, if you are new to sobriety, just focus on today.
yeah.
Go to bed sober. That is the ultimate goal. Go to bed sober. All right, next coin. We got, what does that say?
We're
Down here. I can't read it.
Denmark.
Oh, Denmark. She wrote it really small down there. It's Denmark. 25 ore. Never heard of that one. 1966. 75% copper, 25% nickel. I'm shaking a little bit more today, guys. That's just a residual effect from alcoholism. Some days are worse than others. It is milled with a rarity of 3 and worth about 50 cents. US dollars. That's when I say what it's worth, that's US dollars. But it'll go in the collection. All right, this one. This question, when did you realize, and I'm not looking for a specific date, I just basically, if you even realized, when did you realize how bad I wanted to quit but couldn't quit? Yeah, I'm not looking for a date or anything like that. I mean, did you ever realize?
Yeah, I did. It was actually, I know all these years you've been wanting to, but at the end there is when you were desperate.
Yeah.
Stop. When you were begging for help.
Yeah.
That's when I realized that you weren't just saying, no smoke.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And that's another thing about being an active alcoholism and active drug addiction is until you reach that point that you want to quit, you'll tell anybody anything that they want to hear. And I've done that. Bell. Told you our dogs are in here, guys. But towards the end, and I was in rough shape. I wanted to quit so bad, and I would tell her I'm not going to my store. I wouldn't call it a liquor store. I could not tell her I was going to the liquor store. I called it my store.
Yep.
And I also would not drink in front of her. That was just something about my alcoholism that I would keep it in the car, or I'd hide it in cushions.
Mm-hmm.
I'd keep it in my belt loop. Anything for her not to see the bottle. And what that is that shame. And that's something that as a alcoholic I went through a lot of shame, because you just feel defeated. You feel like, there's no point. What's the point? I'll try today and be sick and get through the withdrawals, but it won't be long before I'll be right back to the store again, because that is the power of alcoholism. It's always waiting. Addiction, I don't care if you've been sober for 30 years. Addiction is waiting for you. All you have to do is pick up one time, and there it is again. So, I guess we got a couple more coins here, so got time for a couple more questions. Well, we're at 19 minutes in this video.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. We got a 1971 100 fills, I guess is how you say it. I'm going to go with that. From Kuwait. I say Kuwait, really? Like K-O-O, really? Kuwait. And it's copper and nickel. It didn't give percentages. It is milled, rarity 5, and US dollars worth about 75 cents. All right, what was I going to ask you? I was going to ask you something. Oh, I forgot what I was going to ask you now. I had a good one. Oh, I know what it was. When I came home from rehab this last time in 2021,
mm-hmm.
Did you notice a difference than any other times I had come home from rehab?
Yeah, I did. You were more content. You were more focused. You were happy. You were actually happy. You weren't. It's not like it. Before it was always like you were looking for something to fill a void or something. I don't know. But this time when you came home, you were just content. I don't know how else to put it. You were just.
Well, you said it perfectly. I was looking for something to fill the void.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I've heard referred to a lot when it comes to alcoholism and drug addiction, is that we as addicts are trying to fill a void with alcohol or drugs, and it just never fills it. It's just a repetitive, ugly process.
Mm-hmm. And someone who doesn't drink, and I don't drink, he would get pretty upset with me when I would say, just don't drink, just don't. And I didn't understand, because as not being an alcoholic, I didn't.
Yeah, and
understand.
it's hard to explain to somebody that doesn't, that's not an alcoholic, and especially when you get dependent on alcohol, physically and mentally dependent, where it controls everything you are and everything you do. It's hard to explain to somebody that what you're going through, but you stuck around. We're here. We're happy.
Mm-hmm.
Been sober for over 3 years now, and just life is just wonderful sober. If you are struggling with any alcohol or drug addiction, I encourage you, please get help and don't give up. And this is the last coin we went through last night, and then we'll wrap this up, guys. It's been a long video. It's 1967. What does that say? Juliana. Boy, I'm blind.
Oh, my handwriting's bad.
25 cents. No, I think your handwriting's actually right good. From the Netherlands, and it's nickel. And it is milled with a rarity of 2, so it's very popular. And about 25 cents. All right, well, honey, thanks for coming in and shooting a video with me and answering some questions. I do want to make one comment about her dedication when I was in my active alcoholism. She has sat with me several times while I was going through withdrawal. You would buy me, what was it, bananas and fruit. I mean, just fruits and juices. And she would watch me go through that god-awful, ugly, disgusting process of withdrawal. And if you've ever witnessed somebody going through alcohol withdrawal, it is disgusting. I mean, you can't control your eyes water, just everything waters. I won't get too graphic, but there's stuff everywhere, and the dry heaving, it's just a god-awful mess. And it lasts for 2-3 days. Mm-hmm. So she sat there with me plenty of times and helped me get through that, but the alcoholism would always bring me back.
Yep, because I would tell you, say, now, remember how you feel now, so if you want to drink again, you will remember what you went through. But alcohol had too big a pull.
Yep, it's amazing how quick we forget, isn't it? And I did have one more coin I want to show. This was, I think, the coolest one we found. This was a 1910 German 10 Pfennig. 75% copper, 25% nickel. That's a pretty cool coin. I mean, it's old. It's the only thing about it. Rarity 4, milled, and it's worth about $1. But I like it because it was 1910. So we're going to get a folder, coin folder, and start putting these in, and maybe later go through some more coins tonight, and I'll have some more in the next video. Guys, thanks. If you stuck around this long for 24 minutes and 20 seconds in this video, I do appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll put out another video tomorrow. I'm not sure what it's going to be about, but I'll be sober because I have every intention of going to bed sober tonight and waking up sober tomorrow morning. You guys have a beautiful and blessed evening, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Say bye.
Goodbye. See y'all later.
Thanks, honey.
You're welcome.